I'm Vila Loukas here with Eden Hershberger, and we are talking about the 5 key ingredients for inner radiance. So the first one, we talked about connecting to the truth of your light. The second one, we talked about clearing out what's not you. The third one was all about listening and hearing your inner truth so that you can make choices in life that are in alignment with who you really are, which brings us to our 4th key ingredient, which is amplifying what brings you joy. So here is this really cool thing that I would love for everybody in the world to understand, which is that humans are designed to be in joy. Like joy is supposed to be a regular state of being for us. And when we are connected to our true light and when we're living it, we experience joy. Yes?
Yes, all the time. When we're tapped into our joy, it literally radiates out beyond us. It's so incredible and so beautiful to share.
So tell me this, Eden. Have you always lived that way?
Ooh, no. I was scared of my joy, and I spent so long running away from it and desiring to tap into anything but it. And it really reflected in my world. It reflected in my work and anything that I was manifesting. And now that I'm tapped into it and I'm able to really feel that on such a deep level of being, I'm sharing it all over the place. And people kind of look at me like, who are you? Like, what have you been doing?
So what was it that was scary about your joy, or what would keep you from wanting it to tap into that?
It is just so powerful. And I think that's something that people don't really understand about being in the joyous state, is how powerful that can be to reflect out to others, to reflect inward on yourself and the world that you're trying to create. And it was very intriguing to unpack that in my journey.
So what's so cool about this path, so the path of know thyself, right, which is taking step after step after step to get to know the truth of who you are. When you follow your joy, when you follow those like breadcrumbs of like, does this bring me joy? Yes, go over there. Like, does this bring me joy? No, not really. Then don't bother with it, right? When you follow your joy, it leads you to pretty much everything you're seeking in life. It leads to a sense of fulfillment. It leads you to life purpose. It leads you to feeling content and satisfied and also healthy. Like your overall sense of well-being is so deeply connected into your joy.
I really resonate with that. And it's been such a journey of self-discovery and really learning more about my joy, because that's not something that we're taught how to tap into.
Yeah.
And I really love sharing it so much.
Well, and when we look out in the world right now, like it's not really a very joyful place. People don't know how, don't really know what it is anymore. And that's reflected in just the state, the overall vibration of the planet, right? Like in especially in our Western society, we have a lot of heaviness, a lot of like discord. When we experience joy as individuals, it's uplifting. It uplifts us as individuals, but then it uplifts the people around us also. And it means we have more to work with in regard to how we want to be living our lives. We're not so weighed down by all the difficulties.
Well, and I knew for such a long time that I had so much more to offer of myself. And when I was running away from this person that I am today, it was so much harder to be in the world. And, when I'm carrying my joy and I'm strengthening and amplifying that joy, people really resonate with that and are drawn to it in such a unique way. And the greatest conversations and connections come out of it. It's so amazing.
Yeah. So can't recommend it enough. And so within the Inner Radiance Academy, there are lots of things you can do that will help with this step of amplifying your joy. So, we've already talked about things like life activation and getting personal clearings, more of the activation series, actually. So beyond life activation, there's a full spirit activation, which really with this one is very key, because that full spirit activation helps you hear your soul's calling, and your joy is very much about what your soul is calling for. When you meet that call, when you answer that call,
yeah, it's so amazing.
That's where that joy can really come forth. So any of our soul level work within the Modern Mystery School offerings absolutely will help with amplifying this joy. So full spirit activation, we do things like soul retrievals, we do lots and lots of healings. The King Solomon Healing Modality series is phenomenal for really helping reconnect you to that soul level space of how can you tap your joy and how can you live from that place. So, so much more we could say on this topic, but for now, we just invite you to continue to explore. And, if you haven't yet done Empower Thyself Initiation, that's a fantastic place to begin this amplification, because it will expand your connection points and really get you tapped more in.
Absolutely.
So more on all this to come.